Good morning. I hear so much about South Africa, and we have a couple of friends from South Africa who moved to Australia and then went to Papua New Guinea and served there for a number of years. So through their eyes and their heart, we hear and learn a little bit about South Africa. But it's been a great privilege for me to be here this week. My first time here in South Africa. I have been through Africa before, but in Kenya and Cameroon and other places. I served in the Bible translation, the Wycliffe organization in Papua New Guinea. We call it the PNG Bible Translation Association. As director until last year, my wife and I, of course, worked in 1980. And so it was like 35 years. I was in the leadership role trying to see Papua New Guinean organization rise up. Our people are, of course, from the churches and from Christian community who direct the work. Like here in South Africa, you have your own people. Papua New Guinea, of course, some of you have heard, we have over 800 languages. Government put the figure at 864 languages. Very tiny country. When I came and I was asking Stephen, how many people live in Johannesburg? And he said about 8 million people. So you can put all of Papua New Guinea into the city of Johannesburg. But incredibly, somehow, the multiplicity of languages there, and many people ask me from time to time, how come so many languages in Papua New Guinea? And I jokingly said, well, I think they built a Tower of Babel there. And so when it got broken down, that's where it began. But I don't know the reason why we have so many languages in a tiny country. I think one factor is the terrain, the geography of our country. It's very rugged mountain. You cannot connect the big cities with each other, except, a couple of them. Otherwise, you have to fly, and it's very expensive. But I want to just share a story that illustrates this theme of collaboration and how God's people work together. I think one of the exciting things we see in our day is God uniting His church. We carry all kinds of labels, but underneath we are all the same, trying to see the gospel of Christ go to communities, to people groups that still do not have it. So work in Papua New Guinea has been going for many years with Wycliffe people, with other organizations like the Bible Society of Papua New Guinea, Pioneer Bible Translators and others. But in recent years, as Wycliffe worked on this Vision 2025 to see languages that still do not have the Bible have it in their own language, we see a lot of collaboration, partnership, seeing the way God is bringing together His people to serve Him, to see transformation happen. So I have a wonderful story unfolding in our country, where we have Bible agencies, and there are 4 of the Bible agencies in Papua New Guinea. And then we have a ministry like YWAM, the Youth with a Mission. And those of you who associate with YWAM, you know that YWAM is just a name, but YWAM has over 600 campuses, universities they call it, or places where they do the DTS, the Disciples Training Program. And they have many phases of YWAM. And one of the exciting things that YWAM offer is the medical services. Some of you know about the doulos, the ship that operates along the shores. We've had that ship operate to PNG a number of times, and of course the doulos itself had been decommissioned. But YWAM in Townsville has a medical ministry, and PNG, of course, we became independent in 1975, but government found it very difficult to find the money to provide medical services to very remote areas. Some of the places hardly receive any medicine at all, so they rely on you might say, bush medicine. The other day, we learned that, African medicine, where people depend just on nature to provide for them. And so YWAM out of Townsville in northern Queensland, we visited there as Bible Agencies Partnership, we call it the Pacific Va'a. The Va'a is a word for canoe out in the Pacific, where it symbolizes journey. We're journeying together, finding new ways of partnering, finding new ways to collaborate, to see God's kingdom come to pass. And so YWAM heard about Bible translation work, and they said, we recruit hundreds of young people, excited, energized young people who would love to participate, to see something about Bible translation. So we started having this conversation and decided, why don't YWAM, help us to collaborate, to work together. So you provide the medical services, and as Bible translators, maybe we can use your ship, to travel up some of the big rivers or along the coast and do distribution of the Bibles that we have translated or are translating. We could use your facilities on board to train the pastors, Christian leaders in different fields. It's exciting when you do Bible translation. It opens up so many other fields of ministry, of serving together. And churches are realizing, Bible translation opens so many opportunities for different kinds of professions and ministries to participate, to be involved. And so YWAM bought a new ship because the other ship they had could not travel up the river. It has too deep a hull. And so they bought that catamaran this last year. And the Papua New Guinea government decided they'll help YWAM buy the ship. So it was like close to 3 million Australian dollars. And P&G gave about 3/4 of the money, because they realized, government can't provide our services, so why don't we help YWAM to buy the ship, and then YWAM operates it, they can run whatever ministries they have. And so they've been doing that the last 5 years, almost 5 years now, and we are seeing Papua New Guinea government through the health department using the ship to train Papua New Guineans in medical work and ministry. So they focus on dental ministry and I think a top optometrist. Yeah. And so they refitted the ship, and pharmaceutical companies in the US heard about the ministry, and through their charity work, they were able to provide some of the equipment and so on. And laboratories were set on board. And so we've had meetings on board the ship and saw how exciting the partnership has come about. And so young people are being trained, being equipped in Papua New Guinea, medical people. And YWAM has a ministry, Bible translation agencies have a ministry to be able to distribute Bibles and work on board. And there are opportunities for us to conduct some of our translation courses on board as the ship goes around to different islands and up the river tributaries. And so it's an exciting time of ministry, exciting time when government come together and they can participate. In our neighboring country, the Solomon Islands, Solomon Island government actually give money towards Bible translation every year to help the communities in their country, because they see the Bible as a transforming tool to address issues of law and order and all kinds of issues. And they see that as something powerful tool in the work of developing nations. So we thank you for the opportunity to share a couple of that story with you, and trust that God will help you to see the relevance of it as you think about how God can flourish the continent of Africa. So God bless you.